here we go.
It's edited out anyway.
No, it doesn't get edited out, because they get to see all of our
Okay.
missteps with the video.
Wait.
Okay.
My mom's texting me.
Your mom's texting you. You know I'm going to take that cell phone.
I know. It's just our stopwatch.
Okay, so here we are with the Chapter 6 Regular Chemistry Test Review for our chapter on a periodic table. And what we're going to try to do this time, if we can figure out our technical arrangement here, is chunk this set of videos into smaller groups, maybe help you with some indexing. But if you look at the periodic table here behind Mr. Sustin, you see this is a project that's been going on throughout the International Year of Chemistry from the University of Waterloo. And they had people create tiles and depict some information about the periodic table and the elements. And you know a lot about elements now. And hopefully that you will find some interesting things in this table as well as others.
Very nice.
Alrighty, so you have your test hints. They're posted on Moodle. We have them with your notes. We've got them on our web pages. There should be no mystery as to what is on this test extravaganza.
And technically this is the 7th test.
Yeah, like
so,
you should get it.
Yeah, no surprises.
Right. Okay, oh, this one's going to be on the midterm exam too.
Yes, all of this stuff. This is the last chapter that's actually going to make it onto the midterm exam. But of course, the dedicated, motivated students have already printed off the midterm exam test hints and are probably piecing their way through that.
Right. And the ones that are watching this know that we already have all the videos from all the other chapters ready, and you can just look at those to help you prepare for your midterm exam.
Exactly.
Awesome. Like we planned it.
Right.
Even though we didn't.
No one wants to watch 2 hours of test review for just the final exam.
Oh, right.
All
at one time.
Piece.
So,
right.
So you can look back and see what parts you need.
Right.
Here we go. Chapter 6. Our first test hint, what does a period represent when it comes to electron configurations?
The end of a sentence.
Well, there's that. But if we're going to think scientifically, when we talk about a period on the periodic table, of course we're talking about a row. Please get straight in your mind the names for the rows, the names for the columns. So one thing we see repeatedly on this test is that people have so many questions, where there's so many questions in a row about the differences between periods and columns, and then everybody starts getting things backwards in their head, even though you know what a period is across, and you know what a column is, a group, a family, up and down. Make sure you read your answer choices carefully so you get which is which. But anyhow, I digress.
Yes, people tend to crush under the pressure.
Yeah.
Right.
What does a period represent in terms of electron configuration?
Well, these elements in, let's say, the second period, the second horizontal row, these elements all have their valence electrons on the same energy level, which would be the second energy level.
Right. So we've been differentiating in the last chapter between orbitals and energy levels. And I've noticed with my students in this particular end of last chapter and the beginning of this one, they're having a hard time remembering that n principal quantum number. So n, the principal quantum number, that tells us the
period number.
Period number and the energy level.
The energy level, the outer energy level for those valence electrons. So these elements that are part of the second period, all of their outer electrons are being piled into the second energy level. 2s, 2s, 2p, going all the way across.
Okay, but the S and P, those are the sublevels, the orbitals.
Exactly.
Here we want to know about the whole energy level.
Yes.
Okay.
Number 2 is asking about the difference between periods and groups. And again, periods, this just occurred to me.
Yes.
Periods end sentences.
Yes.
And sentences go from left to right.
Awesome.
So here's the end of a period. Here's the end of another period. Periods are horizontal, groups are vertical columns. There are 18 groups or columns, and there are 7 currently periods.
Now, what if we asked you the question this way? What element is in the same period as oxygen? So, you need to know the periods go this way, and you need to know how to find oxygen, and you need to find other elements that are in that same row. Uh-oh. Other elements that are in that same row, and then some of those answer choices are going to be elements in the same column. That's not what we want. We want things in the same row.